Solid socks are out. Okay, how's everyone today?
Good. Very good.
You guys ready to learn some magic? Magic? Okay, good. Although the message that I sent you earlier, I said it's not magic, it's just pretty close, but it actually kind of is magical. So what we're going to look at today is how to handle objections correctly. And so, do you guys ever get where they say that the other realtor is only charging 1%? Did you ever get that? That happens here too? Okay. And so I'm going to show you that how to trigger something in their brain that gets them to want to pay 5%. Would you like that? I guess that would be considered magic, yes. I'll show you how to do that today. Not the clever objection handler. It's the thing you do before that that makes them want to agree with you. That's trigger something in their brain. Which is the same for when you go on a listing presentation and they want to try it high. And so that's just the objection of we want to try it high. Use the same technique and then they want to price it right. Or not so much in this market that we're in right now, but you understand these mortgage rules are designed to chill out the prices so we can get more inventory. So there's a time coming in the future where buyers will be looking at something at 600,000 and there won't be a multi-offer and they want to offer like 525, which is too low. That's the objection of too low. The same technique will be getting them to want to make a better offer. And so any objection you get, you're going to use this technique I'm going to teach you and they'll want to agree with you. It's not magic, it's just pretty close. It's getting people to do what you want them to do. That's handy, yes?
Yes.
Anybody single here? Pay attention. Pay attention for this class because this technique I'm going to teach you is actually not a real estate technique. It's a communication technique to get people to do what you want them to do. And sometimes realtors say to me, could I use this in a manipulative form? Yes. Highly recommend that you don't. And so when you're on a listing presentation, they are safe if they choose you, yes? Do you think that all of the 46,000 realtors are good realtors? No. Are you a good realtor? Yes. So then you're not using this to manipulate them, you're using them to get them to make a good call and choose you and pay more money, yes? Did anybody see the CBC Marketplace thing? Yes. How awesome is that? I was so looking forward to that show because the truth is 46,000 realtors, most of them are not good realtors. So I was so looking forward to watching them catching realtors misbehaving, but then I was very disappointed because it was nothing more than trying to stop double lending, yes? And they were baiting the realtors, baiting them, going into their open house and saying, you know, so if I buy from you, can you do anything? And they're like, well, not really, whatever, you know. And then keep baiting. So eventually the realtor says, well, I guess if I'm on both sides, I would have some information. Aha. And so I was kind of disappointed. That's what they focused on. But you know how you can use that? You should hope that every homeowner in Toronto sees that marketplace. Because think about it. If I was a realtor right now and I went on a listing presentation and they said, well, we saw that the show on realtors not behaving. I'd say, well, yes, they were talking about realtors that are trying to maybe lose money if you and get both ends. So be careful of those realtors that offer 1% or $9.99 commissions. They're the ones that'll be after that other side. Yes or no? Yes. Every time they do stuff, they play into your hand. You just got to spin it correctly. At the event I did, who was at my client-only event October the 13th? And so I was going through two lists. One of the lists of, you know, how to keep the visible doors open so things flow to you. And one of the things was, it's a hindrance for people, realtors, is that you're affected by change versus embracing change. So every time something happens, you have to just ask yourself, what's the positive in this? See, I would love to right now. Unfortunately, I probably won't get a chance to because I only do real estate when my son Josh is away because I fill in for him. I'm his buyer agent. And so, but I'm hoping, because Josh is taking some vacation, I hope I get a chance to present to somebody and I hope they say we saw the marketplace video so that I can say, you know, yes. So you got to watch those realtors that are like that, and that's the realtors that would be looking to lose some money for you to get the other half because they only charge $9.99 or 1%. That's the realtors to watch out for. They're the ones that are eagerly looking for that other 2.5%. That's fantastic, isn't it? I was very disappointed with the program because it was a big nothing, but that's how you'd want to spin that. Before we jump into today's topic, I need to talk to you about where we are at this time of year. And I know that I probably harp on this a little bit, but whatever level we get a chance to work with people, in this case, this format, we're very focused in our company to get all of our clients to finish the year strong. And I need for everyone to understand how important what I'm talking about is. Who would like to, in 2017, have a year that just seems magical? Like, think about that. Just appears magical. So some of you are just clearly not going to put your hand up, right? Because that should have been an all play, yes? So who would like to have a 2017 that just, it seems miracle, like it's a magical miracle. You can't do anything wrong. Everything goes your way. Everything comes up you. Who would like that? Okay, you actually can have that. You can have that. You see, every realtor in North America that gets a fast start to a year has that. Unfortunately, every coin has two sides. That also means that everyone that gets a slow start to the year has a year that it appears it doesn't matter how hard they work, they cannot work their way out of it. And then when you get to the end of that year, next year, 2017, or if you're having that year, 2016, it's like, what is going on with my business? And you look back, you'll see that you went 0 for January and probably 0 for February or very close to 0 for February. Had your first deal the end of February or early March. When that's the case, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're not working your way out of it. All of the principles on the planet that entrepreneurs are aware of, the law of attraction, the power of focus, the power of momentum, you become what you think about, they're all against you if you get a slow start. And they're all in your favor if you get a fast start. So I don't think that a realtor should leave a fast start up to luck, because it could happen. Right away in January, there could be a couple of people from your database that call you and they put their home on the market and they sell. They go buy something, you do 3, 4, 5 sales. The first 6 weeks, you're off to a fast start. That could happen. It does happen. But I don't think you want to leave that to chance. I think you want to make sure that you're making steps over this next 6 weeks or so to make sure you set yourself up for a fast start and have magic on your side. And the illustration that I use, which is similar to one of the chapters in my book, a few of you said you'd like a copy. I brought a few copies. If you want one at the break, just take it and drop $20 there, and then I'll have to have someone to guard that, right? Are you guys okay? I don't have to guard the $20 in this office? Okay. And so if you visualize you're standing at the edge of a river and you look to your right and down there is your goal, not too far. You can see it for 2017. 20 deals, 25 deals, 30 deals, 50 deals. 20 is the minimum. If you want to do the minimum 20 deals, how many leads do you need monthly? 6. 8 would be 25. And so then you look in the river and the current is flowing that way. That's very inconvenient. So the only way to get to the goal is swim. So you dive in and you start swimming to your right. And you're a good swimmer, you're swimming against the current. But every time you tread water and rest, you're heading back that way. You're going to get out of the river at the end of the year, this side of you where you started, but this side of your goal because of the current. That's the way it is. And so wouldn't it be convenient in January 2017, you look down to the right and you see the goal, and then you look and you see that the current is flowing towards your goal. That's very convenient. And so you jump in and you swim, and every time you tread water, you still move towards your goal. See, that's the difference between getting a fast start and getting a slow start. In this next 6 weeks, you'll dictate the direction of the current of the river. It's very significant. And so I know we talk about it a lot this time of year. We talk about it with everybody. I would say every one-on-one coaching call, they have a call with their coach for half an hour every week. They're going to do this for 8 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There isn't anything more important than what we're talking about right now. And so, you know the software that you guys have that you don't go to? You know the one I'm talking about? Just for fun, I logged on to your office and started going through to see who's using the tracking system. Wasn't that impressed with the lack of you that are using the software that we gave you. And so at the software, there is a tab called the Client Corner. And there's some things in the Client Corner. One of them is your lead list for January. Who has that printed off and has it posted? Wow. Okay, so you're making a really, really big mistake. But it's not too late because we have 6 weeks left. And so this lead list for January says, my leads for January. And then there's a spot for 20, correct? 20, 19, 18, 17. And so in the next 6 weeks, between now and December 16th, when we want you to shut it down. That's the date we shut the company down for 2 weeks. I go to the lake and I've just almost finished the second book, The Realtor's Magic Formula, which I will edit to the best of my ability over those 2 weeks and send it to the editor in January. It should be out in March. And so that day, December the 16th, that's the date we want you to shut it down and take 2 weeks off. That's awesome, yes or no? Yes. But you won't enjoy it if you don't have the big list of leads for January. If you can print off that chart and post it, and right now, write down whatever leads you have for January, and then get on a campaign to find those other leads. So when you come back January 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you tear off that list of 20 leads, how many deals would that be, 20 leads? 5. They won't all happen in January, but 2 or 3 will. And the other 2 or 3 will happen in February. Plus whatever else you stumble onto January and February. Now you're off to a fast start, yes? And then the current is flowing towards your goal. You're gonna get to decide in this next little bit if you're gonna have a fast start or a slow start. I think I've shared this with you guys before, but it happens a lot. And so the other day I was speaking at an office and I was sharing this because everywhere I speak right now, I'm gonna talk about this. And so later I got an email from a guy in the audience and he said, I just wanted you to know that what you talked about starting strong and have a magical year, you are correct. Which I already knew that, by the way. But I appreciate that he was pointing out that I was correct. And he said, 10 years selling, didn't know what you said, but I know that in my career I've had 2 years that were just magical. I was like on fire. I thought I had just taken my career to a new level that was gonna just be there all the time. But I also had 2 years that I actually thought about getting out of the business. I felt like the business had left me. And then I had 6 kind of average years. And so I keep good records. Not that I did anything to affect the beginning of the year, but I went back and I checked, and I discovered that on those 2 magical years, I got lucky. And I had people from my database wanted to move early in the year, so I got a fast start, and I had magic all year. I was like a rock star. I won some awards that were above my pay grade, so to speak. And then I had 2 years. I did my first deal the end of February or March, and it did not matter how hard I tried, I could not work my way out of it. And now I know I'm going to make sure that I finish the year strong and get a fast start to the year and have magic on my side. The truth is, this magic is so powerful that I'm telling you this. You need to listen carefully. And this is why we're on it so much, because I have to get 1,100 people to finish strong and start fast, yes? Yes? Every year, about 20% screw it up, regardless of how much I talk about it. And so, if you get a fast start to the year, I'm telling you this, you can cut corners all year and still hit your goal. If you can get the momentum flowing in your direction, you could make mistakes all year long and still hit your goal. That's how significant what I'm saying to you is. Unfortunately, every coin has 2 sides. If you get a slow start, it won't matter how hard you work, you're not coming back. Just finish the year and not make that mistake again. So I'm coming back in December. I said a few minutes ago, it's not too late. But when I come back in December, it is too late. So when I come back in December, and one guy has posted the lead list for January. Are you guys catching the significance of this, yes or no? Yes. Okay, well, you need to do it. And you get working on that. And as soon as you post it, listen carefully. As soon as you post that chart, it activates something in your brain called the reticular activator. And the reticular activator has a very significant job in the brain. The reticular activator decides if something is important or not. And if it deems it to be important, then it sends it to the action part of your brain and activates the law of attraction. In other words, you become magnetic to that thing. Magnetic to that thing. If it deems it to be unimportant, it sends it to the passive part of your brain where there is nothing happening. As soon as you post the chart on your wall, you print it off, you post it on your wall. As soon as you post it there, the reticular activator in your brain says, oh, that's important, we posted it. I'm gonna make you magnetic to that list. Who would like to be magnetic to attracting 20 leads in the next 6 weeks? How can you not? And so all that you have to do is tell your brain that. See, right now, one person in this room is magnetic to leads. That's it. Are you finding more leads since you posted it? Yes. You have to. That's how the law of attraction works. Funny thing about the law of attraction, we all believe it, yes? But we still get startled when it happens to us. You know, clients call me all the time and say, you won't believe what happened. I was focusing on this thing and it happened. That's how it works. I know, but it happened to me. We still get startled. What happens to us? You guys understand that? You, later today, now you probably have to email Josh first to get your codes, right? Because it's not as easy as leaving here and then going on and getting it. Because you were like, what is my code? Yes or no? So in case you want to find out where to get it, so write this down, Josh at robviviancoaching.com. Now from a manager point of view, manager, and you're thinking about what should I manage my people this next 6 weeks? Nothing more than what I'm saying right now. Imagine how amazing your managerial job would be in 2017 if all the people that you're responsible to were having magic in 2017. You'd be like the manager of the year. If you want to have the worst year managing ever, get them all to have a slow start. And work, and not be able to work their way out of it. You understand that? So if you're managing people, hey guys, here's the chart. I printed it off for all of you. Post it, let's get working on that. Everyone gets a fast start. So it's Josh at robviviancoaching.com. Josh at robviviancoaching.com. If you don't know your code, at 12 o'clock, just email Josh. I'm in coaching with C200 Heritage. What's my code, Josh? He gets these all the time. Go on, save it to your favorites, and then print off, go to the client corner, print off the chart, and as soon as you post it on the wall, you've activated the reticular activator has activated the law of attraction. And you are now magnetic to leads. And the more leads you write on there, the more magnetic you become. Now, let me tell you something, guys and gals. You can still collect this list. It's important. On an importance level, it's up there with oxygen. So, who found 6 leads from last class to this class? Well, you 4 obviously need to sit on this side, because that's the side that it happened on. All right, so I'm not going to go around and ask, did you do your best, 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 did you do your best? But if I did, what would be the common answer? No. Listen to me, guys and gals. Finding the right amount of leads every month is always important. But for the next 6 weeks, it's going to dictate your 2017. So you've got to get on a mission to work till December 16th, get the big list of leads for January, then shut it down for 2 weeks, have the best Christmas ever. If you don't, you are architecting, and now you're aware of it. Before I'm sharing this with you, you might not have been aware of it, but now you know. So you'd be on purpose architecting a slow start to the year and swimming against the current for an entire year. You need to not do that. So I'm saying this. About 200 of our 1,100 are going to screw this up, regardless of how much we talk about it. And then 900 will get it correct. You need to be in this group. Yes or no? Yes. Seriously? Yes or no? Yes. All right, turn to page 57, please. And let's talk about handling objections. So why don't we use as a case study, the other realtor is charging only 1% or 3.5% or something like that. You guys charge 5%, yes? Okay, good. Just FYI, we're not a coaching company that says never cut commission. We don't say that. Sometimes I get in trouble with brokers when I say what I'm about to say. But the truth is, it's a competitive market in Toronto, yes? Okay. And so if you follow our system correctly, do our listing presentation, handle the objections correctly, I'll teach it today, our clients get 5% most of the time. Most of the time. So Josh will list about 10 homes a year, not a lot. And I'm with him on lots of them. We get 5% 7 or 8 times out of 10. There's the odd time I give them a little break, not because they beat us up. That's not why. I like them. Well, most of them are my past clients. And referrals from them. And so, they're selling a house. He just listed one in Whitby. It's about 500 grand. They're going to buy for about 8. And I like this. I like these people. So I said, we're just going to charge you 4.75. You can list at 4.75. Let's go right to 4.5. And so I'm okay with that. Are you guys okay with that? And this is something we don't talk about openly enough. Our clients in Virginia, they never cut commission. So we don't say, we say you shouldn't cut commission there. But in Toronto, it's going to be challenging to get 5% every time. Do you guys agree, yes or no? Yes. Okay, let's be honest with this then. And so of every 10 listings that you take, if 8 of them were 5, and a couple were 4.5, 4 3/4, that would be okay, yes or no? Okay, well, let's just be honest here. And so what we're going to teach you is how to get people to want to do that. And so we'll use as a case study where the other realtor's only charging 1%. You see, on the planet in human behavior, there's two groups of people. So I'd like you to write this down, please. In human behavior, there are two groups of people. In human behavior, there are two groups of people. In this thing that I'm going to share with you. In human behavior, there's lots of different categories. So write down the group that buys goods and services based on value. The group that buys goods and services based on value. The group that buys goods and services based on value, and then put 70% beside that. I'm in that group. And so that's the bigger group, buying goods and services based on value. And this has nothing to do with how much money you have, but just in my life, I rarely buy the cheapest thing. But I don't buy the most expensive thing because it's the most expensive thing. If I wanted to get, for example, hardwood floors in my house, I might have a couple of hardwood companies come in, they do their presentation, their shtick. I buy the best value. It could be that the one that was actually the less expensive, to me, proved more value. I don't necessarily buy the most expensive or the medium or the cheapest. Whatever has the most value to me. I buy goods and services based on value. 70% of the people in the room here are in the same boat. It just so happens that the cheapest one never seems to have the best value, or very rarely. Sometimes the highest one isn't either, but I buy the best value. The next category is people that buy goods and services based on price. People that buy goods and services based on price. That's 30%. The smaller group. And so in your real estate career, you want to not work with these people. And they're very easy to figure out which group they're in. And so, for example, on the listing side, you book a listing appointment and you're going to see them on Saturday at 10 o'clock. They say to you, we got a flyer in the mailbox at only charging 1% or a flat fee. They all say that, yes? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Both groups say it. Even the 70% say, yeah, I'll see you Saturday at 10. I got this flyer in the mailbox for 1%. They all say it. And when you say then, you know what, that's an excellent question that you're bringing up. I'll make sure we cover that thoroughly. As a matter of fact, on the listing presentation, it's question number 4. What do we charge? The 70% will let it go. So they say, okay, we'll talk about it Saturday, but we got this flyer, and the 70% let it go. If they let it go, they're in the 70%. The 30% won't let it go. No. If you're not charging 1%, don't waste everyone's time. Yes or no, guys? Yes. Those ones you should not go on. Because, see, human behavior is one of the most powerful things on the planet. And so our program is solid. 1 in 4 leads works out, work 3 pillars, process your leads, all the techniques that we teach, go on a listing presentation and answer the seller's 6 questions. But human behavior is the most powerful thing on the planet. So those people will not pay. If you go on that one, you will only compromise yourself if you go there. So for me, for my career, seeing as the 70% is the bigger group, that's the ones I go on. So when they say on the phone, wait, what do you charge? We notice we got some flyers for this and that, or we notice it, 3.5% or whatever. And I say, you know what, excellent question. It's one of the things I'll discuss thoroughly when I see you Saturday morning at 10. Okay, we want to talk about that. If they let it go, they're in the 70%. I go. If they won't let it go, I don't go. Because I cannot get them to pay 5%. As strong as you are at the listing presentation, you cannot beat human behavior. So I would highly recommend you don't go on that one. Because one of 2 things will happen there. You'll just waste your evening, or you'll compromise yourself, one or the other. Because our scripts and techniques don't override human behavior. It's more powerful. On the listing side, that's how you'd know. On the buyer side, when you get some buyers, we already covered this, yes? You have a buyer interview with them, yes? Yes? The 30% won't come to the interview. That's how you separate them. So the 2 leads you get, the listing side and the buyer side, you separate on the listing side by when they ask about commission, you say, we'll discuss that when I see you. Think that's a really good question. they won't let it go, the 30%. Don't go. The buyers that won't come for an interview, that's how you separate them. A buyer that will not come for an interview before you look at properties to go over some things, it will not end well for you. You're just looking to be very disappointed in about 30 days. Highly recommend you don't work with them. That's how you separate these two groups of people. And so I'm assuming then if I'm going to present, then I'm presenting to someone that's in the 70%. So therefore, if 70% buy goods and services based on value, and I show the value, then they pay 5%, yes or no? It's really that simple. But I'm a pretty good presenter, quite honestly, but I cannot get the 30% to pay 5. I already know that. I've already tried a bunch of times. And I know how powerful human behavior is. So therefore, I don't go. Because when it comes to listing commission, I charged my brother Randy 4%. 10 years ago. It still bothers me. It's every time I go fishing with him, I'm fishing at the front of the boat, I look at him, I go, I can't believe I charged you 4%. He's like, Rob, it's 10 years ago, let it go. And I'm actually good at letting things go, but this one I can't seem to let go. What's that?
So you can just jump him in the river if you want.
Yeah, I could do that. I could drop him in the lake, that's true. That wouldn't solve it for me though. And so, because I just won't do reduced commissions really at any level. And so, and when you're presenting to the 70%, assuming you show the value and use the techniques I'm going to teach you, it'll work out for you. But these will not work on the 30%. You can go on a bunch if you want. If you're a realtor that would never compromise yourself and go down that low in commission, you're wasting your time at the 30%. I know according to RICO, there is no correct commission. I get that. You can make your own standard. But ours is, we charge 5. Periodically, 20%, we do someone a favor, not because they beat us up, we like them. We like them, we give them a little break, they're going to sell, they're going to buy, whatever. And so that's not much, just because we're generous, I guess, for lack of a better word, or we like them, they're a young couple, whatever. Now here's the thing though, if you separate those 30% out, then you never get the hassles. Like, I'm telling you this, that in my whole career, 30 years, although not much volume now, I know that, but I've never had one buyer ask me for money back. Because that's what the 30% would do, you understand that? I've never had a buyer ask me for cash back, not even once. Because the 70% would never do that. That's what the 30% do. And that 30% never came for the pre-showing meeting, therefore I didn't work with them. So in my whole career, not even once has someone asked me for money back, because the 70% would never do that. I would never do that. I listed and sold my cottage when I moved. I used a realtor that I didn't ask for a referral. And I said to my wife, whatever he writes on the listing, we're just signing it. We're not asking for anything off. He wrote 5, we signed it. I didn't ask for a referral, I'm a realtor. I could have done it. I didn't want to. I didn't ask for anything. The 70% would never do that. That's the 30%, the people that you would not work with. Now listen carefully before we continue. If you don't find the appropriate amount of leads every month, you're going to work with these people, yes?
Yes.
And you're going to be abused. I mean, realtors say to me, what do you say when a person says this to you? I said, well, they're berating you. You should fire them right now. But I can't. It's my only listing. Well, that's a problem. From months previous of not finding the appropriate amount of leads every month, so you work with these 30%, yes or no? Who will not respect you, will say things they shouldn't say, will ask you for money back, yes or no? If you find the appropriate amount of leads every month, you will cycle those people out and work with the bigger group, 70%. And so, with the 70%, they still say when you're going there, because on a listing presentation, does the commission come up every time, yes or no? Yes. But don't assume that that's a problem, because the way you can weed that out is on the phone. You should be happy they ask. Because then you can say, you know what? It's an excellent question you're asking. As a matter of fact, it's one of the 6 questions I'm going to answer when I see you. So we're going to discuss that thoroughly. And they say, okay, perfect. They're in the 70%. Because the 30% won't let it go. Let me tell you something. You have a seller that says the number 4%? Yes? Yes or no? Yes. If they say 4, they're in the 70%. They'll pay 5. Because the 30% never say 4. They say 3. The 30% would never say 4. If they say 4, they pay 5. If you show them value. But they buy goods and services based on value. You have to show value. You have to have a good presentation, yes? Okay, so write this down, please. Human beings are bound by the law of reciprocation. Human beings are bound by the law of reciprocation. And when I explain it to you, to help you understand in the brain, you're going to leverage this to trigger something in their brain that's going to give them a very strong desire to agree with you. So it works like this. The law of reciprocation in the brain isn't something that human beings control. It controls you. It overrides your desires and your control. And I've said this to you guys and gals before, and I watched it happen when I was in Vancouver speaking at your conference. Saw a couple people talking. I know both of them. And one of the guys said something about a topic I know he doesn't know that much about. And the other guy challenged him. It doesn't work that way. So he got challenged, yes? Well, then he challenged back, yes? That's the way it works. Even though he doesn't know. And then they had a little argument, not so much argument, but a little debate. And then this guy, who said the thing about the thing he didn't know that much about, he finds himself defending his position, yes or no? Truth is, he has no idea. But he's reciprocating, yes? Because the law of reciprocation controls him. He doesn't control it. And so he realizes he's in this crazy conversation, and the other guy's probably right, but he can't help himself. So then he says, I researched it on the internet. That's how I usually get out of it. And the other guy goes, well, whatever, and they just walk away. And I could see a little bit confused, like he's thinking to himself, why would I do that? Why did I do that? Am I argumentative? Am I stubborn? No. It's just that he got challenged, yes? And he's locked into the law of reciprocation, so he challenged back, yes? Challenge back, challenge back, challenge back, challenge back, challenge back, even though he doesn't know. I said, you have no idea, do you? No, not really. I said, well, it's not your fault. You're locked into that. That's not you being argumentative or stubborn. That's the other person's fault. They challenged you, and the law of reciprocation took over. You guys understanding what I'm saying? Because that's happened to all of you, yes or no? You've all done that, yes or no? Yes. It's not your fault. You're not being stubborn. You're not, just obstinate. It's just that somebody challenged you and activated what's called the law of reciprocation, and it controls you. So think about this. If we understand this, now we have an objection. And so the commission, there's really only two ways you can go with it. The other realtor is charging 1%, which, by the way, hopefully they saw the show, because you could say to them, I know there's a lot of realtors that do that. You've probably seen, they say, we saw that show. And that realtor that's not getting paid much this side, he's very concerned about getting the other one as well. Be careful of those people. That's a perfect way to spin that right now. I'm not sure that's the way it is, but that's the way I'd spin it. And so when they say the other realtor is charging $9.99 or 1%, there's only two ways you can go here. Either go back to your plan of action, here's the services we provide, or cast doubt on that realtor. Yes? You guys with me today? Yes. Because you're looking at me like cows watching a train go by. Or maybe this material is just too fascinating for you, I don't know. And so you could say, if that other realtor gives their money away so quickly, I'm a little concerned how they'll treat your equity at the offering table. You could challenge the other agent. You could also say, let's go back and show you my plan of action, the service I provide. Those are the two routes, yes? So I'm sure you go one of those two. Listen carefully. Right now, when you get that, the other realtor's charging this, and you don't want that, correct? No. Just lie to me and say you don't want that.
We don't want that.
Thank you. I don't want that. We want 5, yes? Yes. Okay. And so if the person let it go on the phone, they'll pay 5 if they see the value. And if you can use some technique on their brain. So they say the other realtor is charging 1%. And you say, let me go back to my plan of action, so the services I provide. Okay, listen to me carefully. You are correcting them, yes? Yeah. If you correct them and they're locked into the law of reciprocation, what will they do back? They will correct you back. Well, the other agent's doing that. And then you correct back, and they correct back, and you correct back, and you correct back, and you correct back. Because your objection handler is a rebuttal. Aren't you going to be so happy that the election's going to be over tonight? You know the big winner is in this whole election thing this year? Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Huge resurgence of Saturday Night Live, yes? Because they're so good at, they had nothing till this year. That show was fading away. And now Saturday Night Live's back. It's fantastic. And so, but they rebut each other, yes? Even in our elections, which I have zero interest in, they have the debates where the leaders are up there. And in an organized debate, a formal debate, there's a facilitator, there's people. It's supposed to go this way. Here's the question, you have 2 minutes to state your case. Everyone else is supposed to be quiet, although it doesn't go that way. And then when you've stated your case, they say, okay, candidate, rebuttal. A rebuttal is part of a debate, yes? And so notice in that, they never say this. You state your 2 minutes of your point, rebuttal. Actually, they have a pretty good idea there. That's the best idea you've had in a long time. Good job on that. That never happens. There's a rebuttal, yes or no? I'm saying to you that every time you get an objection, you rebut them. You rebut them. Your objection handler is a challenge or a correction. The home is worth $800,000 and they want to try $900,000. And they say, we want to try $900,000. Oh my gosh, $900,000. They're selling way down here. You're correcting them, yes? Yes or no? Yes. And so realtors don't really possess the skill to get on their side first and activate the law of reciprocation in a positive way. And so right now, if you correct them, what will they do back? They will correct you. If you challenge them, what will they do back? They will challenge you. And so what I'm going to teach you today is not really the clever objection handler. It's really not. The class is not about that. It's about what do you do in here? What do you do right here? So you get an objection. If you respond to it, the other realtor is only charging 1%. And then you say, and it doesn't matter how pleasant your tone is, or how big your smile is, or how friendly you are. If they see the other realtor is charging 1%, and you say, you know, I'm a little concerned about that agent that's charging 1%. They give their money away so quickly. How much did you have to lean on them to get them to agree with that? No, they offered it. Really? So they give their money away that quickly. I'm a little concerned how they'll treat your equity at the offering table. That's good dialogue, yes? Yeah. Challenge. I'm correcting them, yes or no? Yeah. And they have no choice because they do not control the law of reciprocation. It controls them. It's a very powerful thing in the brain. So I just correct them and say, well, that's what we want to pay. That's what they charge. They have no choice in the matter. But what if you knew a technique that agreed with them and then they had no choice but to agree back? You understand that? Yeah. Yes or no? Yeah. So I'd like you to write this down, please. The technique is repeat, approve, and build a bridge. The technique is repeat, approve, and build a bridge. You're not taking notes? You're not taking notes? Not last time, the video didn't work. I got so many calls. The video didn't work. Well, you maybe should have come to the class. What's my response to everybody? Well, you should have come to the class. The class worked, right? Okay, listen, this repeat, approve, build a bridge is not my technique. It's not my, I didn't make it up. 1 in 4 leads works out, that's my material. Work 3 pillars, my material. Sell up 6 questions, my material. Call your hot leads Monday, Wednesday, Friday, warm leads Monday, my material. This is not my material. You can go learn this technique at any communications class. We had a client maybe 3 or 4 months ago, said, my daughter wants to take this communications course. It's 4 Tuesday nights in a row at a community college. It's $50. Should I take it? Yeah. A, you'll be with your daughter. If your daughter wants to do something with you, you should do it, yes? Yeah. For starters. The fact that she wants to do something with you, I think you should go. So the price is irrelevant. You'll learn something there. So I get a text like 10 to 7, starts at 7, day 1. She texts me, you won't believe what's written on the board. So I'm thinking, okay, where is she right now? Oh, she's at this communications class. I'm going to go with repeat, approve, build a bridge. Yeah, it's not my technique. It's just a technique. It's a communication technique. It's how to get people to do what you want them to do. You're on a listing presentation, and they say the other realtor is charging 3.5. You want them to list with you at 5, yes? Yes. Are they better off listing with you at 5 than taking a risk with someone else? Yes. Of course they are. You gotta help people not make mistakes. And so it would go like this. So then I'd like you to write down repeat, leave a couple of lines, write approve, leave a couple of lines, and write build a bridge. Repeat, approve, build a bridge. And I'll show you how this sounds. There are some things that we teach on the mindset side of things that take you a little while to to work on. Those were at my event on October the 13th. I gave you 2 lists, yes? Yes? 15 on each. And if you have at least 12 of the positive 15 and no more than 3 of the negative 15, then your whole career will be just like the 72 hours before you take off. But I think that's going to take you 4 to 8 months or a year to work on that. But that's okay, because those invisible doors aren't either fully open or fully shut. They could be slightly ajar, letting some leads flow through to you. They're not like fully open or fully shut. There's a whole process there. And so along the way, the journey is as much fun as destination. That's going to take you some time. But this technique's not like that. Matter of fact, I think you'll get it today. And you can use it today. It's really very simple. It's just it's understanding what's happening. You guys notice that in this class, in our coaching, we spend a lot of time explaining why we want you to do things and how it works, yes? And really not that many points. I spend a lot of time explaining what's happening in the brain, why it's working this way. And so repeat, approve, build a bridge takes about 20 seconds. Now think about that. You get an objection. The other realtor is charging 3.5. You already have the clever thing you want to say. I get that. In handling objections, the clever thing that you say is not the skill part. This part in the middle is the skill part to get their brain to want to like that. If you handle it without this, you're correcting them, and they have no choice but to correct you back. The skill part is this middle piece, not your objection handlers. Matter of fact, in our coaching, we never say to our clients, practice your objection handlers. We never say that. Matter of fact, the more you practice your objection handlers, the quicker you give them back. The quicker you throw them back. The quicker you rebut. And then you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then you think to yourself, I can't communicate with this person. Well, they're not supposed to be the skilled one. You are. And so if you really think about the objections, would you, the other realtor is charging 3.5. That's the most common one, yes?
Yes.
What's the next most common one? Price it high? Yeah. And what about after that?
Days on market.
Okay, days on market. After that? Oh, the price?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, well.
Listing days in market.
How
They want to list with you for 90 days.
Oh, the length of the listing. Okay. What about after that?
The other agent valued at a high price.
Oh, the other agent's going to list higher. Okay, after that.
Offer is gonna sell.
Okay, what about after that?
So what you should do.
The point is, there's not that many, you understand? We're stretching at straws here now, yes? Okay, with objections, you get 4. I get that. Depending on who you are, how you carry yourself, what your pillars are, you're going to get the same 4 your whole career. Figure out 4 clever things to say, you're done. Matter of fact, don't flip now, but I already got them in the workbook. Just stay on this page, Ron, please. I already have them in there. It can't be hard to figure out 4 things to say. You guys agree, yes or no? You don't have to practice that anymore. Done. Just practice this and get smooth at this. So when you're delivering one of these 4, their brain is in a state that they want to agree. If the brain's in a state that they want to agree, it's much more magical, yes? Yeah. But if you don't do this piece, this clever thing you say is a rebuttal, yes or no? And then they want to disagree. That's why you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You can't get them to pay, so you compromise yourself and take a listing way lower than you should. Yes or no? Well, this way you can stop doing that. The problem is going too low on a listing thing, agreement, is then for your whole career, every time they refer you, you got to think, okay, so what crazy deal am I giving this family? Yes? What did I give them that when I couldn't quite get the right amount of commission? Then you got to give that to everybody that they refer to, yes or no? Wouldn't it be great if we just charged everybody 5? Wouldn't that be a lot simpler? Yeah, okay. All right, so beside the word repeat, write down, tells them that you listened and you heard. It tells them that you listened and you heard. By the way, those are 2 different things. Listening and hearing. Who's married here? All except for the single guy. So, listening and hearing are 2 very different things. I have a friend of mine that's a marriage counselor, and he always tells me when I go fishing with him, yeah, don't teach this repeat, approve, build a bridge to the world because I'd be out of business. Because every time they come to my office, what do you think the first thing they say is, he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen to me. Yeah. So when they give you the objection, you just repeat it back. That's it. That's what the repeat does. The repeat is not the part that activates their brain to want to agree with you. That's the second piece, the approval, which I'll show you in a sec. The repeat, it starts with the word okay and ends with is that correct? So you might want to jot that down below that. Starts with okay, ends with is that correct? Okay, whatever they said, is that correct? That's what the repeat sounds like. Starts with okay, ends with is that correct? Now, by the way, because not a lot of realtors possess these types of techniques and skills, communication techniques, good for you because your competition is not that good, quite frankly. I have a company, a friend that owns a headhunting company. You know where they headhunt corporate people? Do you know what he says to me? Realtors are not on our list. Not on our list. We're not interested in recruiting any realtors to go into hire them for, you know why? He said they don't have a good reputation as good business people. You are actually not on the list in headhunting companies. Nobody's recruiting you. You get called from other companies to go work there, yes? But nobody's recruiting you to go work in a corporate environment, yes or no? Corporate people get recruited all the time by headhunters, but realtors are off the list because they're not seen as good business people. The truth is, they're right. When you get these skills down to a technique, the ace in the hole for you guys is that your competition is not that good. And so you're going on a listing presentation and they want to try it at 900,000 when it's only worth 8. And they say to the first realtor, we want to try it at 9. And the realtor says, 900,000, oh my gosh, no one's even going to come over. Rebuttal. Yes or no? Yes. Now, if nobody knows the technique and 3 realtors say that, they have to choose the lesser of 3 evils because they still have to list. But what if one of them, when they say, so the second one comes in, well, we want to try it at 9. 900,000, that's a lot. Look at the CMA, rebuttal. And then you go in, we want to try 900,000. And you go, okay, so you want to put on at 900,000, is that correct? They go, finally. Thank you, someone we can talk to, yes? Because you see, when you get an objection, they say it just like this. We want to try it at 900,000, just like that. But what really is happening is this. We want to try it at 900,000. And they get ready for the rebuttal, because that's what your competition does. I'm trying to train all 3.5 million realtors in North America these techniques, but I'm failing miserably. That's good for you, by the way, that I'm failing miserably. And so the repeat just tells them that you listened and you heard, nothing more, nothing less. So it sounds just like this. So say to me, the other realtor is only charging 1%.
The other realtors are only charging 1%.
Okay, so the other realtor is charging only 1%, is that correct? Now in your mind's eye, visualize at the table, that's good communication, yes? Not so much a rebuttal. Now listen to me on the repeat. It's better for their brain if you use the identical words. So the words were, the other realtor's charging only 1%. So I said, okay, so the other realtor's charging only 1%. Is that correct? Okay, that's fair. See, that's better than this. Okay, so the other realtor's charging a commission that's lower than the normal. Is that correct? That's the same point, but it doesn't have the same register in their brain. So just say the word okay, exactly what they said. Is that correct? Do you guys understand that? This is very simple, this part. And so sometimes people say to me, can we practice the repeat? Really? Okay, whatever they said, is that correct? You shouldn't really have to. So the repeat and the bridge you're going to see are no-brainers. It's the approval that you need to get your head around, but it won't take you long. And so the approval, I'd like you to write this down, please. Beside the word approval, write down, tells them that their motive is correct. It tells them that their motive is correct. This is, if I explain this to you, you're going to see how easy this is for you. You're not going to patronize them or be condescending in any way. Because the truth is, I feel that when people are moving from house A to house B or selling a house or buying a house, they're doing some real estate. Should they have a strong desire to do the best they can for themselves, yes or no?
Yes.
So their motive is correct, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So according to RICO, there is no correct commission, right? Right?
Yes.
I talk to the registrar all the time. There's no correct commission. And I always say to them, can I quote you? Yes, quote me. That's why I'm telling you stuff. And so that's fine. But you know, this is the registrar's voice now. Rob, tell them they're not meerkats. You're running a business, yes? You can think whatever you want to think. I'm just telling you so we think about it. There's no correct commission. You're not a meerkat. You don't have to follow along. You can. Who with me agrees that 3.5% is not correct? Not correct. Everyone put their hand up just to make me happy. Thank you. Okay, so you're allowed to think that. You understand what I'm saying? I think 5% is correct. You guys agree? Yes. Therefore, 3.5 is incorrect. Yes or no? Yes. In our minds. That's okay. Again, from the registrar, you're not meerkats. You're allowed to think whatever you want to think. This is how we think. They can think whatever they want to think. They're running a business. That's the idea. We think 3.5% is incorrect. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Let me ask you a question. So if someone's going to put their home on the market, why would they ask about a reduced commission? Why would they do that? They want to save some money, yes? Is there anything wrong with that? No. So their motive is correct then, yes? So on this objection, the 3.5 is incorrect, but the motive is correct, yes? The reason you have to connect on this is because when I show you the approval, you can't be pretending to agree. You have to wholeheartedly agree. You understand that? So you go on a listing and the home was worth 800, and they want to try 900. Is that a correct list price? Yes or no? Why would they want to do that? What's wrong with that? Do you understand? So the 900 is incorrect, but their motive is correct. You have a buyer in a future market when we have more inventory and not so many multi-offers, and you show him a home that's 700 grand, and it's priced right, and he wants to offer 625. Is that the correct offer price? No. Why would he want to do that? What's wrong with that? You guys understand this? Who's had this scenario before? You have a deal on the go, you've agreed on price, you've agreed on closing date, now you're haggling over used appliances. Yes? That makes no sense, correct? But why would the seller want to keep them? Why would the buyer want them? You understand? So if you really look at almost all of your objections, it's just people trying to do the best they can for themselves, yes? So when I show you the words for this approval, you're not being condescending or patronizing or pretending to agree. Do we all agree that when people are doing real estate, they try to do the best they can for themselves, yes or no? Yes. That's all you're saying. So it's going to sound like this, repeat approve. So say to me, the other realtor's charging 1%.
The other realtor is charging 1%.
Okay, so the other realtor is charging 1%, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I know that when you're moving from house A to house B, you're trying to keep as much of your money as you can, yes?
Correct.
That's fair. I know you work hard for your money. I'm not moving, but if I was, I would also have a strong desire to make and keep as much as I can. I'm being totally honest here. Have you guys heard that horses can sense fear? Who's heard that before? It's very true, by the way. Who grew up on a farm other than me? Farm people? It's true, yes?
Yes.
You ever go to Mexico or something where you're going to go horseback riding? You guys ever do that? Okay, next time you do that, watch the horses. Person jumps on horse A and they're really confident. The horse is like, oh man. Then a person jumps on horse B and they're really unconfident. Watch the horses communicate now. Horse B that just knows they picked up the nervous person, they do this with their head to the other horse. And they look over and they go, yes or no? This horse is saying to this horse, I am not going to be behaving. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be going right when they're turning left. And this was like, lucky you, this guy knows what he's doing. Horses can sense fear. And this is what the horse does for a living. This is fun for them. Next time you go, just go horseback riding to watch this. You'll see it's true. Horses can sense fear. The clients, the public, they can sense insincere. This is important. Because as you're approving, you aren't being condescending. I'm being truthful with them. It's so easy to do if you know you're being truthful. I didn't mention in my approval the 1%. I didn't approve the 1%. I didn't say, I know that a lot of realtors charge 1%, and there's realtors that do that, and you can get that in the market. So I'm not talking about the 1%. That's not what I'm approving. I'm approving the motivation. I know that when you're moving from house A to house B, you're trying to keep as much of your money intact as you can. I get that. I'm not moving, but if I was, I would want to make as much as I can. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, yes or no? Yes. Matter of fact, realtors are the worst when they move. Who's ever tried to sell a realtor's house? It's like the worst. It's like I saw the other day, a client of ours. She said, I put my home on the market. I go, great. She said, I'm looking at offers December 3rd. You're looking at offers in a month? That's what realtors do. So I said, that's insane. You can't do that. But, on a collect offer stuff, you would never let someone else do that. You can't do that. And so it would sound like this. So, okay, so the other realtor's charging 1%. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I know that when you're moving, you're trying to make as much as you can and keep as much as you can, yes?
Yes.
Well, that's fair. I know that you work hard for your money. I get that. I'm not moving, but if I was, I would have a real strong desire to make as much as I can. Now, visualize at the listing table, that's good, yes?
Yeah.
Now, I'm agreeing with you, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And so if I agree with you, what do you have a strong desire to do back? Now, when I'm sharing my objection handler, her brain has a very strong desire to agree with me. Without this technique, very strong desire to correct you because you just corrected them. You guys clear on this? Beside the bridge, you have the bridge written down, right? Write down, is permission to continue. Is permission to continue. After I explain this one, we'll take a little stretch. Is permission to continue. It's a question, but you're saying it like a statement. And there's only two possible bridges, so write the two of them down. Can I share something with you? Can I share something with you? And the second is, can I show you something? Can I share something with you, or can I show you something? They're both equally effective. In the personality styles on the planet, driver, expressive, amiable, and analytical, which the world has 25% of each, which is kind of interesting. Drivers and expressives, me, expressive, we tend to tell stories. So you'll notice that my objection handlers in the book are stories. And so drivers and expressives tend to tell a story. So our bridge would be, can I share something with you? That's what we'd say. Analytical and amiable tend to want to show something. Let's go back to our plan of action. Let me show you the pricing pyramid. That side of the quadrant wants to show something. So they would say, do you mind if I show you something? It's a question, but it's said like a statement. And the whole thing would sound like this. And it's permission to continue. And so the other realtor's charging 1%. Is that correct? This is what the whole thing would sound like. The other realtor's charging 1%. Is that correct? Okay. I know that when you're moving, you're trying to do as well as you can for your family, yes? That's fair. I'm not moving, but if I was, I would have a very strong desire to make as much as I can. So I totally get that. And it's the right thing to want, isn't it? And so, do you mind if I share something with you? Listen, now that takes me to my objection handler, yes? When I say the bridge is a question, do you mind if I share something with you? And they say yes, but what really is happening in their brain is this is what they're really saying subconsciously. You must tell me something right now that I can agree with. That's what's really going on in their brain. Now, I'm going to share, what makes me a little bit concerned about the other realtor that's charging 1 is that they give their money away so quickly. I'm a little concerned how they'll treat your equity at the offering table. Can I ask you a question? Do you want to hire a realtor that's going to fight tooth and nail for every nickel of your equity?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's that person. They gave their money away pretty quickly. How much did you have to lean on them to get them to agree to that? They say they offered it. Now, if their brain is in a state that has a strong desire to agree with you, that would be magical, yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
But if they're in a state where they want to disagree with you and correct you because you're saying those good words without this piece, without setting up their brain first, then it's not magical. They can't agree with it because law of reciprocation controls them. They don't control it. Now, last point before we take a break. Write down, gives their brain a very strong desire to agree with you for 3 to 5 minutes. Gives their brain a very strong desire to agree with you for 3 to 5 minutes. I just want to explain this and then we'll take stretch. Gives their brain a very strong desire to agree with you for 3 to 5 minutes. Are you guys writing more than I'm saying? You didn't write down, we're going to take a stretch. Did you write that down? Okay, everybody look up here. I'll just explain this and then we'll take a little stretch. This technique, listen carefully, the technique does not get their brain to like your objection handler. That's not what it does. when you agree with someone in this format, because you do agree with them, yes or no? Don't you agree that everyone that's moving, doing real estate should try to look after their money, yes or no? Well, that makes it simple for you, doesn't it? You just say that. And so when you do that, when you approve somebody, their brain goes into a state that they want to agree with you for 3 to 5 minutes. It just so happens in that 3 to 5 minutes you're discussing this objection handler. It's not that they want to like the objection handler, they want to agree with you for 3 to 5 minutes. And this just happens to be the dialogue, you understand that? Now, you know kids' toys, I don't know if they still have it, had it when I was a kid, it's called Weebles Wobble, but they don't fall down. It's a balloon sort of thing with weight at the bottom, you punch it, it keeps popping up again. They still make that? You guys know what I'm talking about? Some of you don't want to agree because they know it's a long time ago. No, that's way before my time, Rob. So I haven't changed her mind permanently. She's just wobbling right now for 3 to 5 minutes. While she's in that state, I'm going to use this objection on her to get her to agree. You understand that? And then we're past it. But if I don't do this correctly and move quickly through this, 10 minutes later, the wobble stopped. Back to where she was before. You understand that? So it makes her want to agree with you for 3 to 5 minutes, or them to agree with you for 3 to 5 minutes. Handle the objection, move past it. Once you've moved past it, they've agreed. So if I can get you to say in 3 to 5 minutes, okay, here's what they say when you do this technique. They say, okay, well, okay, 5's fine. But they always have a caveat after that when this works for you. Okay, 5%, but I need you to work hard and get me a lot of money. They always have that caveat on the end. And you say, that's my job, I have no problem with that. Now, you got the agreement, well, we're still wobbling. As long as you got the agreement, you're good. You understand that? So repeat what they say, so it tells them that you listened and you heard. Give them some approval because their motive is correct. Build a bridge from that over to your objection handler, which is just a question. Do you mind if I share something with you if you want to tell a story? Or do you mind if I show you something if you want to show them something? Both equally effective. Do you mind if I show you something? Go back to your plan of action. We do all of these things. Okay, all right, 5's fine, but I want you to sell it for a lot of money. Now, yeah, that's okay, that's my job. You guys all clear on this? Any questions? There's usually not any questions when we're thinking about break. Okay, so take 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We'll be right back. If you want one of my books, I got a few of them here. I'm gonna going back to this after we come back because there's more you need to know about that. So I'm going to go back into that when we come back because now that I talked to you, I'm gonna because the repeat's pretty locked in stone, right? Okay, what they said, is that correct? Can I share something with you? But I'm going to talk a little bit more about the approval when we come back. There's a bit more to know about that. I can't say, I don't have a setup to take. What? I'll bring it to you next month. Yeah, but it'd be $28. It'd be $8 more. I'm okay to take it, bring money next month. It's up to you.
Hey Rob,
Thanks.
okay, nice to meet you. I just joined the regional health about 2 weeks ago. So I just dropped by.
As a new agent or a new agent somewhere?
So what do you recommend? Do I take a few of your courses?
Yeah, because at the beginning of each of the classes, right? In here, I don't know when this is up, maybe in April, but I talk about the structure, like 1 or 4 weeks at the beginning of each class.
Yeah.
And then I teach you something. It just happens to be a part-time with this one, right? So, yeah, so when we're doing realtor, the most important thing is you first get your database.
Right.
That's important. And then you got to realize, okay, if I think I was up 20 for sure, I think it's that. You find 6 leads a month. Get focused on that. 6 leads a month. Every month.
never find 6 days, and then you'll have mathematically questions. So really, it's about weeks. But you'll just jump in, and the office pays for it. So when you do it again next year, start back again, I don't know what's going on. But right now, you might as well jump in and learn what you can.
Thank you. Very welcome. Wait, like the
Got to borrow money? Sorry?
Yeah,
Want me to lend you money? How about I lend you 20? You give it back to me, and then we're all good.
Ask my manager when he has money, then on the way I go to the machine and I get $20 and she's that's the only one I gotta.
I'm really okay if you say, I'm really seriously okay if you just take the phone.
He knows where to find you, and he's got people working.
I know, but I can't do that.
Well, that's fine. Yep. Oh, there's a. Okay, no, there's a good Toronto company. So write it down. Here. So what is this? Okay, all right. So write this company. It's Mace Data, data.com. Mace Data. Yeah, .com. I think they're also called Toronto GTA Business. Anyways, go to their website. They collect all of the Toronto business and email them to every Saturday. I think they cost $40 a month. It's a 2-week trial. It's only Toronto. What?
I said, you're the best. I like you.
Thank you. I like you too.
You're gonna drive back?
Literally nothing.
You know, I got you money. I'm sorry, I got from manager. Thank you.
That's what managers are for.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is you don't trust you.
Okay, let's go. Does anybody have a question while we're waiting for folks to flow in? Okay.
Are the Leafs going to be a 500 team?
Yes. Question was, will the Leafs be a 500 team this year? Yes. I'm going to predict that in the next 10 years, the Leafs will play the Edmonton Oilers more than once in the finals, Stanley Cup finals. The two teams with the best young talent. They'll play more than once in the next 10 years for the Cup. Not saying the Leafs will win, but they'll be there more than once against Edmonton. That's my Leaf prediction. Of course, I do see Leaf things through my blue glasses. Okay, need you to write this next thing down, please. Okay, write this down, please. They reciprocate at the same level that you agree. They reciprocate at the same level that you agree or approve. This is going to be something that the brain works a little different than you might think it works. They reciprocate at the same level that you agree or approve. Okay, and so you guys are clear that if they say the other realtor's only charging 1%, and you skip this process, you say, well, let me show you my plan of action, or let me show what we do, or cast an aspersion on the other realtor, then that is a correction, yes? You guys all clear on that? Yes. So any form of repeat, approve, build a bridge would make your objection handler not a rebuttal. You guys clear on that? Yes. Okay. So the repeat is pretty locked in stone. This is answering your question, by the way. The repeat is locked in stone. Okay. Whatever they said, is that correct? The bridge is locked in stone. Can I share something with you? Or can I show you something? Those are the only two possible bridges. Because you're either going to tell them a story or you're going to show them something. So those are the only two bridges. You would use, can I share something with you if you want to tell a story? I happen to be a storyteller, not because I like telling stories. I'm an expressive personality style. Expressive personality styles always tell stories. And then who's expressive in here? And we always add to the story, yes? That's actually pretty funny. And so expressives would think like this. A good story cannot be told unless slightly embellished, yes? Build it up. And so, but analytical, amiable personality styles would rather show stuff. So can I share something with you? Can I show you something? And so the amount that you approve, they come back the same amount. See, the way the brain thinks is this. If they're saying, well, this other agent's only charging 1%, if we go too far in the approval, we're solidifying they're on the right path. That's what we think, yes? I don't want to approve too much because then I'm making them right. It doesn't actually work that way. It works quite the opposite. The farther you go on the approval, they come back the same amount. And so, for example, if I say, so the other realtor's charging, okay, so the other realtor's charging 1%, is that correct? Okay. And so I know that when you're moving, you're trying to look after your money, yes? I get that. Do you mind if I share something with you? That approval was only on a scale of 1 to 10 about a 2. Do you guys understand that? Very small. That means their brain wants to like your idea at a 2. It's still correct because now my objection handler wasn't a rebuttal. But they only want to like my objection handler on as a 2. I really need to like it at a 10. Do you guys understand that? So this is answering your question, yes? You were asking about how big to make this. So the repeat is locked in stone. Okay? Whatever they said, is that correct? Can I share something with you? Can I show you something? Locked in stone. Only this is the movable piece. And the farther you go here, they come back the same amount. And so when you're using your objection handler, you really want their brain to wildly like your idea, yes or no? Which means you have to wildly like their idea here. If you go 10 here, they're at 10 here. So Okay, so the other realtor's charging 1%, is that correct? Okay. So I know that when people are moving from house A to house B, they're trying to make as much as they can, yes? Well, I get that. It's the right thing to want. No, that's not, I'm being honest here. I'm not moving, but if I was, I would have a very strong desire to get as much as I can for my property and net out as much as I can. I work hard for my money. You too? So I totally get that. It's absolutely the right thing to want. That's a 10, yes? Yes or no? Do you mind if I share something with you? The brain now wants to like my objection at a 10. So the farther you go in the approval, they come back the same amount. If you want them to mildly like your objection handler, then just mildly approve. If you want them to dramatically like your objection handler, then you have to dramatically approve. You guys understand that? The farther you go in the approval, they come back the same amount. Write this next thing down, please. Write down, I'm going to tell you a story first. This was kind of cute. So you guys know my son Josh is a realtor, right? Guess who he works for? Of course. And so he has this listing in Whitby. This is a few months ago. Now watch the mistake he makes. You would think he'd listen to me, yes? Yes. Yeah, no. I don't coach Josh. One of the coaches does. He doesn't think I know what I'm talking about. He's my son. Is that how it works, yes or no? Yes. We have about 150 of our coaching clients are realtors' kids. They try to teach them for about 4 or 5 months, and they call me, you know what, just take them. This is clearly not working. So it doesn't matter how successful I am, the kid won't listen to me. Yes or no? Yes. Matter of fact, Josh said to me when he turned 21, he said, you know, I can't believe how much you've learned in the last year. Like you've been on this big learning curve. The stuff you're saying now seems to make some sense. He's like 21 at the time. Now he's 30. Anyways, so he has this listing in Whitby. It's a few months ago. So listen to this. Because watch the little mistake he makes and almost caused him a problem. So he has this listing. It's $499. It's a freehold townhome in Whitby. Okay. Well, typical fashion here. They get 4 offers. $510, $520, and $560. Okay? Like a clear winner, yes? We talked about this a few months back about what to do in that situation. When you're sitting with a firm deal on the closing date with $560, $40,000 higher than the next one, what should you do? Take it. Take it. Yes or no? Yes. Better not go rounds right now and lose that. That's why I said before a few months back, you can't pre-decide how you're going to do it to see what you got, right? But that's a clear winner, yes? Yes. Okay. And so in the listing, they have the appliances in. They're stainless steel, but they're 5 years old. And so, but now Brian and Terry are thinking, mostly Brian, not so much Terry, the girl. Well, we got 4 offers. We could get whatever we want, yes or no? The truth is, so they say to Josh, we should take the $560, but want to keep the appliances. That's an objection, yes? Yes or no? Yes. And Josh says, they're in the listing. That's a rebuttal, isn't it? Yes. And so, now here's the thing. If they took them out, they could probably still get the buyer to buy it because they really have no idea that they beat the other offer by 40 grand. They'd just be happy to get the news they won, yes or no? Yes. So he could probably have got that for them. But when someone has a listing on the market at $499 and they have $560, should they leave the appliances, yes or no? Yes. Of course they should. Okay? So they say, well, Terry or Brian says, well, I think we'll take that offer, we keep the appliances. Josh skips over this step and says, we have them in the listing as included. Is that a rebuttal, yes or no? Yes. Yes. Okay. And so if he rebuts them, what do they do back? So they have this little back, well, I don't care, we want them. Well, they have no choice in the matter. So they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, yes? And then he does the smart thing. Let me call Rob. I don't know Brian and Terry very well. They're friends of friends. I've only met them a few times. So he calls me, goes outside, he calls me, goes, yeah, so listen, I got these 4 offers. We got a clear winner at $560, and it's firm, and it's closing on their date. But now they want to keep the stainless steel appliances. And I said, so did you repeat, approve, and build a bridge? And he said, which means no, right? That means no. I said, okay, so no wonder that they're debating you. You locked him into that. You understand that? he locked them into that. They had no choice because the law of reciprocation isn't something people control. It's something that controls you. You understand that? So I said, put him on the phone. I'll talk to him for a sec. So he puts him on. Hey, Rob, because I know them sort of somewhat. You understand? Not too well. I go, hey, listen. So, okay. So I understand that you guys have 560 on the table, firm on the right date, and now you're thinking maybe keep the appliances. Is that correct? Because that's what's going on. Yes. Okay. And then I said to them, okay. So here's the thing. There is no doubt with the 4 offers and the one you're liking, they have no idea the other offers. So for all they know, they edge them out for $5,000. And the truth is, if Josh goes back to them and says, "You'll take your offer if you take the appliances out," they'll probably take that. And you're in the driver's seat, and so you can probably do whatever you want. That's approval, yes? Yes or no? Yes. You guys mind if I share something with you before you make a decision? They go, absolutely. No, that is correct. You guys understand that? This isn't something just for class. This is how you're supposed to communicate with people, yes? Now, where is the state of their brain right now? What do they want? What are the next 3 to 5 minutes? Agree with me, yes? Because the truth is, they should leave them. That's correct, yes or no? Yes. I said, here's the thing, guys and gals, or Brian and Terry. When you buy appliances from the store and they ship them to your house, they're packed. They're packed properly to ship. Once you move them from house A to house B 5 years later, they don't work the same. One element doesn't work, the fridge hums, the light doesn't work. They're not really designed to be moved from house A to house B once they're unpacked. And Terry, you cannot tell me that it would not be awesome to go appliance shopping. You cannot tell me that wouldn't be awesome. And here's what she says to me. I hate these appliances, Rob. That's what she said. I hate them. Well, Brian said we should keep them. And Josh corrected them. And then the law of reciprocation controlled both of them, yes or no? He locked them in. He made a mistake. And I said, well, listen, guys, Terry, you got to be looking forward to getting some new stuff. She goes, totally, I don't even like these appliances, Rob. I said, well, then we got 560, let's just leave them and then have Josh put the sold sign on for you. He goes, well, okay, good call. And then I run into them like, I don't know, I go over and see them after the fact. And Terry says to me, I'm so glad we got rid of those appliances. That's how she honestly felt about them. But you see, you can't underestimate the power of the law of reciprocation. You challenge somebody, they will defend even if they don't feel that way. I started this whole meeting by saying you've all had a scenario where you said something about something you didn't know that much about, and then you defended yourself, yes or no? Even though you shouldn't have. Because you really don't know, and you don't know. But you defend it, and you make up a story. I researched it on the internet, I did this and that. You're making a story up, yes or no? And we've all done that. Terry defended her position of things she didn't want. Because Josh locked her into that. You guys understand that? So we've got to make sure when we're doing this, we're doing it every time, correctly, yes or no? Yeah. And so when I was teaching Josh how to be a really good realtor, we go on listing appointments. I went with him for the first couple of years. And we'd be walking up there, meeting some people for the first time. Not so much my past clients. There would be no listing presentation then, so we wouldn't go together. Either he would go or I would go. But if it's a referral and we have to go present, yes, I would say to him, okay, now watch. I need you to count how many times I repeat, approve, build a bridge till we get this contract signed. It's probably going to be 3 to 5 to get a contract signed. And the thing is, if you ask the client after, like if they went to interview them, how many times did the realtor close? They go, I don't know what that means. Because they say something, you repeat, approve, build a bridge, you're just having conversation with them, yes? It hides everything. You know in your back, you have gel between the discs, yes? I'm not a medical doctor. Just disclose that. But you guys know what I'm talking about, yes? And sometimes people have back problems and then that gel is gone and then they have pain, yes? The repeat, approve, build a bridge is like gel between all the discs. It smooths it all out. So I remember one particular time, Martha, we're gonna go over there, we're gonna meet her for the first time. She's a referral from somebody, we've never met her. We're gonna see the house, we're gonna meet her, we're gonna list it. She's gonna sell it, and then she's gonna buy something. This was like 3 years ago, so before the crazy market. And so we go in there, and we sit down, and she says this, you know, I've been thinking maybe I should go find something first. Well, that will screw up your presentation, won't it? And think about that. You just sit down, and she says, you know, we're thinking that maybe we should go find something first. This is one of the few objections that is not connected to money. It's driven by security, yes? So if I say to her, well, if we go find one first, and I'll talk about the escape clause, all that kind of stuff, I'm correcting her, yes or no? Yes? So I need to do that, but first I need to say, okay, Martha, so we're looking at maybe getting one first and then selling. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so I know that if we do that, then we have security, yes? She goes, yeah, I mean, I'll know where I'm going. Yes. We won't sell your home and you won't know where you're going. We can be selling the whole time we know where we're going, so we'll have that security, that feeling. Because that would be the motive, yes or no? And she's like, yeah, 100% agree. Okay, fair enough. Do you mind if I share something with you? She goes, yes. Now, what state is your brain in right now? To agree, yes or no? So now, when I say, here's the thing that's going to hurt us, Martha. So we're going to go find something, and we're going to buy it conditional sale of your house, because that's where the market was 3 years ago, which will come back again, yes? And so now, these people, we're probably going to have to pay a premium there to get them to take that offer. And then now, we have 30 days to sell your house. We might have to take a little bit less. Because that in a market different than this one, that's the way it is, yes or no? And so that the two premiums we pay there, we're buying security. The truth is, they have it on the market with an escape clause. So we're buying security that we don't have. It might be a better idea to right now put your home on the market, hold out for maximum price, and make a power offer. I don't know what her mind thinks a power offer is. Doesn't matter. And she went, that's a good idea. Because that is the right way to proceed, yes or no? Let's get the home on the market, let's get looking, let's get going here. And she says, okay, that's a good idea, we'll do that. I don't want to pay 2 premiums. And we're back on track, yes or no? Yes. If you repeat, approve, build, a bridge, it gets people to want to agree with what you're saying. It's the way to communicate with people. So you're going to have a chance today. Don't wait for your next objection. It's how you communicate with everybody. So you go home tonight, and your spouse says, yeah, I had a tough day at work. Oh, you had a tough day at work? Is that correct? Yeah. Well, so tell me a little more. Like, okay, Mr. Communication all of a sudden. Did you learn something today? It's how you communicate with people. My daughter Chris is 29 next week. Well, I remember one night when she was 15, because I used to be able to use all these techniques on my family, but now they all work for me. So I can't use them anymore, because they know them all now. I tried to hide them from them as long as I could, but it's jig's up. But I remember when she was 15, she said to me, I'm going over to Gloria's place. I'll be back at midnight. Okay, so you're going to Gloria's, you're back at midnight, is that correct? Yes, okay. You know, one of the things I always respect about you is you always tell me everything, and I really appreciate that. Because then I don't have to worry, I don't have to wonder. So thank you very much for sharing that, I appreciate that. Can I share something with you? What's that? 10 o'clock. Listen, I approved, yes? What does her brain have a strong desire to do right now? She's like, okay, Dad, I'll be home at 10. Versus, I'm going to go to Gloria's till 12. Hey, you'll be home at 10, young lady. As long as you live under my roof, you play under my roof, you can do that if you want. That's how you communicate with people. If you agree, repeat it and agree first, a very strong desire to agree back, yes or no? Now you guys know the psychology term waiting to speak? Waiting to speak? It's a psychology term for people. You have them in your family. I hope it's not you. You have in your family for sure people, every time you're around them, they're just annoying. Because they're just talking all the time, yes? They don't give you a chance to finish. You're talking to them, they're looking away, and they just keep jumping in. You know what? Here, who has kids that play hockey? Okay, so what's your son's name? Noah. So we're at the same thing, Josh. Well, pretend Josh is younger, right? So how old is Noah? 8. Okay, we'll pretend Josh is 8, which is awesome because I'd be 22 years younger. And so tell me that Noah, we're at a hockey banquet, tell me that Noah won their tournament.
Noah won his
So
tournament.
Joe and Josh, he scored 3 goals. That's a waiting to speak, yes? And then at that hockey tournament, people are like, okay, see you later. And I'm just there looking for someone else I can annoy. That's called the waiting to speak. It's the most annoying communication skill you can possess, being a waiting to speak. And so you see, without this repeat, approve, build a bridge, that's what you are. They give an objection, you tell them why they're wrong. They give an objection, you tell them why you're wrong, why they're wrong. They give an objection, you tell them why they're wrong. How would you like to be the guy at the banquet that everybody wants to be around? Tell me Noah won their tournament.
Noah won his tournament.
Okay, so Noah won that tournament, is that correct? And you tell me more about that. Like, okay. And you're a person people want to talk to, yes? Would you like to be the realtor that everybody wants to be around? Yeah. We have to stop telling everybody why they're wrong. Who's heard the phrase before that people list with people they like? Who's heard that before? People list with people they like, yes? You know what kind of people they like? People that stop making them wrong all the time. And the fact that they want to get more for their property is correct. Motive. Do this thing correctly, and everybody wants to be around you. Don't be shocked when you do this correctly, and you tell them why they should pay 5, and they go, okay. They'll go, seriously? You're kidding, right? Understand the power of the brain. Walk them into the law of reciprocation. The law of reciprocation is going to be active either way, because without the repeat, approve, build a bridge, you're challenging them, activating the law of reciprocation to challenge, or correct, or enlighten them. They'll enlighten you. So it's going to be in effect either way. Write this next thing down. The process takes 20 seconds. The process takes 20 seconds. That's how long it takes to get a brain to have an insanely strong desire to agree with you for the next 3 to 5 minutes, where you're happy to explaining whatever objection you want to say. 20 seconds. Not very long. Who's got a second hand on their watch? Who has a second hand? Okay. So, what's your name again, young lady?
Jessica?
Jessica. Give me the objection. I want you to time how long it takes me to repeat, approve, build a bridge, okay? So start when I say okay, because that starts it, okay? So go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Tell me the other agent's charging 1%.
Oh, the other agent's charging 1%.
Okay, so the other realtor's charging 1%, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so I know, Jessica, when you guys are moving, you're trying to keep as much of your money as you can, yes?
Yes.
Well, of course you do. I mean, that is the right thing to want. Everyone that's moving should try to do the best they can for themselves. I know you work hard for your money. I'm not moving, Jessica, but if I was, I would have the same strong desire. Do you mind if I share something with you? 20 seconds. 20 seconds. It takes 20 seconds. 20 seconds to activate the law of reciprocation, to have a strong desire to agree for 3 to 5 minutes while you're explaining the objection handler. And once you get the decision, it's done. Well, she's wobbling. I got to get, okay, I'll pay 5, but I want you to sell for a lot of money and get it sold fast. No problem, that's my job. Done. I haven't changed her viewpoint on the commission forever, because if you punch that weeble and he wobbles, eventually he stops. So if I get the decision while the wobbling is happening, it's done. That's what has to happen. Might as well set her brain up to want to like my idea. You guys understand this? You understand now when I sit on the phone earlier today, it's not magic, but it's pretty close, yes? Yeah. Write this next thing down. There's a pause between each step. There's a pause between each step. So it's not one little paragraph. Because all 3 things do something differently, you have to pause. So it's repeat, pause. Approve, pause. Build a bridge, pause. Then you get to say your clever thing. You understand that? You can't say that clever thing really fast. You get probably 3 to 5 objections your whole career. It cannot be difficult to think of 3 to 5 clever things to say. Once you got them, stop practicing them. When you practice them, you give them back faster. We don't teach to practice your objection handlers. Learn this skill. It's very easy. You'll get it in no time. And literally, you'll have it solved in the next couple of days. Matter of fact, literally go home tonight and use this technique. People are like, okay, warming up to you. How'd you like at a listing presentation to have the sellers warm up to you? So I don't know how many times I've used this technique, 10,000 times, maybe more. But you guys know I sold over 100 homes a year for 12 years in a row. A lot of referrals from my database. No one ever said to me, yeah, they said you do this repeat bridge thing. Not sure how it works, but kind of liked it. They like that technique. You're never going to hear that. You're just going to hear, you're someone they can talk to. They said you're someone that we can talk to. Well, that is the way it appears. They say something, and you repeat, pause. You approve them, pause. Build a bridge, pause. Then you say something. You're communicating, yes? Versus correcting and being a waiting to speak. So, okay, so the other realtor's charging 3.5%. Is that correct? Pause. Let the brain settle in there. I repeat it back so she knows I listened and I heard. Okay. And so I know that when you're moving from house A to house B, you're trying to keep as much of your money intact as you can, yes? I get that. That's the thing everyone should want. No one should ever call me and say, charge me whatever you want, I don't care. That'd be irresponsible. You want to make as much as you can. I get that. Pause. Do you mind if I share something with you? Pause. Now I get to say my clever thing. You understand that? That's not the skill part. If that is skill, it's very rudimentary. This is the skill part, which I don't think a lot of realtors possess this. I mean, 46,000 realtors on Treb. I think we've coached 2,500. Hardly scratched the surface. So the odds are, when you go and they interview 3 realtors, the odds are the others aren't going to do it correctly. They're just going to argue with them. But if no one knows the technique and everyone challenges them, they have to pick one. So they will choose the lesser of 3 evils. But if you know the techniques how to communicate with them, they will choose you because you're someone that they can talk to. You guys understand that? Okay. Write this last point down. This technique allows for multiple closing. This technique allows for multiple closing. And so, when you go on a listing presentation that's not a come list me, it's very rare for them to sign with you on the first close. As a matter of fact, you're going on a listing presentation with, it's not a come list me, they're not friends of yours. They're interviewing you. They talk in advance. If Jessica and I are a couple, we say, we'll see this guy tonight or this gal tonight, but we won't sign anything tonight. That's what they say during the day, yes or no? Yes. So that you go in and you do a perfect presentation, but we haven't talked privately yet. Even though it's gettable for you, we said earlier today, we'll just see this person tonight. Not gonna make a decision tonight. We're not gonna sign tonight. But you nail it, so we're like, we're gettable. But we haven't talked privately yet. So even though you nailed the presentation, they're still gonna say, that was amazing, we need to think about it. Of course they're gonna say that. That's what they decided earlier. It's still gettable for you, and you can't leave right now. I know you've all had this scenario before where you went on a listing presentation and you nailed it. And a week later they went with someone else, yes? So you gotta strike when the iron's hot. That connection you have with them fades fast. 2 days later, you're vanilla. You better get it while you're there. Unless it's a come list me, it doesn't matter. So when you're there and they say, that was awesome, we'd like to think about it. Meanwhile, they're wanting you, but they haven't talked privately yet. So they stick with that. It's gonna take you a couple of closes. You're not supposed to pack up and leave when they say, that was awesome, we just need to think about it. You're not supposed to go, okay. You're not supposed to do that. But most good realtors have a very, very strong desire to not be perceived as the pushy realtor, correct? You ever do a deal with a pushy realtor? So annoying. Yes or no? Yes. And so because it's correct, it's a correct attribute or characteristic to not be even perceived that way, you're too easy to say no to. You go on a presentation, you do a great job, it's gettable right now, but because they decided earlier in the day we're gonna just see this person not make a decision, but then you knock them over with your presentation, but they still say we wanna think about it. You're supposed to now repeat, approve, build a bridge, and close again. And repeat, approve, and build a bridge, and close again. You're not supposed to just close once. You're not supposed to do a presentation and say, okay, so it sounds like we agree on 700. Let's get this contract signed. I'll get the sign up. I'll get you guys moved. Oh no, that was amazing. We just need to think about it. They decided that earlier. You're not supposed to pack up now and leave. You guys understand that? But if you don't know what to do, and because you're driven by the desire to not be perceived as the pushy realtor, you will leave, yes or no? And that's a mistake. Once you leave, it's almost surely gone. Because the luster of that presentation fades very fast. So they say, we just want to think about it. You say, okay, so you guys just want to think about it. Is that correct? You understand that? Again, if you close a second time quickly, that's abrasive. The repeat, approve, build a bridge between the next close is the gel between the discs. You understand that? Makes it palatable. And so, okay, so you're looking to sleep on it and think about it. Is that correct? Oh, yes. You know what? I know when people put their home on the market, it's a big decision. Some people say it's the biggest decision of your life. I don't know if it's that big, but it's big. And so I understand that you want to make a good call. I totally get that. If I was selling, I'd want to make a good call too. Do you mind if I share something with you? Now, I'm going to close a second time, and their brain wants to agree. You guys understand? And they're going to say, and I say, can I share something? They go, yes, okay. You know, I know we do need to get sold, right, Jessica? Yes. And so we are getting pretty close to Christmas here. And so you're indicating not waiting until maybe the new year. And we still have a lot of market left. But time, I think you would agree, is of the essence, yes? Yes. And so I think you guys are comfortable that I can sell your home, yes? Yes. So I'm going to recommend that maybe we go ahead and do it, put it on the market tonight. Now they might say, we just want to think about it. I'm like, okay. I would just do the process again. I'm telling you guys something. My whole career, if you take out the come list me's where I'm competing, I almost always get the listing on the third close. Third close. Third close. Always on the third close. That's the most common, 9 times out of 10. Close first, say something like that, and then the third time, I'll repeat approve, build a bridge again, and when I get it listed, if someone said to them, oh, you just listed your home, like an interview process? Yeah. How many times did the realtor close? I don't know what that means. Because repeat approve, build a bridge made the whole thing conversational. You guys understand that? But if I close, they go, I'm not sure when I think about it, and I close again. No, when I think about it, I close again, and I don't get the listing. How many times did the realtor close? He tried 3 times. Without repeat approve, build a bridge, you'd be that pushy realtor you don't want to be. You understand that? Then I'm going to repeat approve, build a bridge, and I say, Jessica, all right, so I know you guys want to sleep on it, yes? Okay, can I offer you the best of both worlds? This is the third close, and this is where you'll get almost all of them if you do it correctly here. But I think most of you are gone already, and that's a mistake. So let me offer you the best of both worlds, okay? So why don't we go ahead and do the paperwork? I'll leave it with you. Don't think you're going to do the paperwork and take it. I've heard some realtors say that. I'll go ahead and do the paperwork. I'll take it with me. You can call me tomorrow, tell me to submit it or throw it in the garbage. If you do the paperwork and take it, in their brain it's identical to listing. You understand that? They cannot say yes to that, so don't say that. Why don't we, Jessica, do the paperwork now? I will leave it with you guys, okay? You can sleep on it, you want to, okay? Like, I already know they want me, but they're kind of locked into, they decided earlier that we're going to think about it, and they haven't talked privately yet. You understand that? I need to get past that. Because if I leave without it, there's a pretty good chance it's gone, yes or no? Yes. Okay? Even though this is going well. So why don't we do the paperwork? I'll leave it with you, and then I will call you in the morning. You guys sleep on it. If you want to put it on the market, I'll come back and get it. And if not, you can do whatever you want with it. They're like, okay, oh yeah, we can do that. Now think about it. How long does it take to do all the paperwork? Sign here, initial here, sign here. I'm not talking about the data sheet. Forget that for now. Sign here, date here, what's included, blah, blah, blah. How long does that take? But think about what's going on in their head. They're signing here, initial here, initial here, initial here, initial, sign here, sign here, sign here, yes. Yes or no? And then it's all done. And I'm going to say I've done this 500 or 800 times. And then at the end, okay, so we have all the paperwork together, okay, Jessica? Okay, so do you want to hold on to it? And I'll call you tomorrow, or you want to just give it to me and I'll take it? Well, they've already signed everything. I'm telling you guys, 19 times out of 20, they say, just take it. Like, I know they want me, but I also know they talked earlier that they weren't going to list tonight, and they haven't talked privately yet. So none of them wants to break through, you understand? And if that doesn't work, I'd say this, okay, because you guys notice I use a lot of humor, yes? Not just here, like everywhere. And so, can I tell, are you married, Jessica?
Yes. Sir.
What's your guy's name?
Frank.
Frank. So you weren't ready, you didn't know for a sec there. Maybe, sorry. Okay.
In your case, we'll call him Frank.
We'll call him Frank, okay. And so, I'm gonna say this if this doesn't work. Here, guys, if it's not a come list me, and you're nailing a presentation, if you leave without it, it's probably gone. That's the way it goes. The luster goes away fast. But you don't want to be close, right? That's why you're not doing it. Repeat, approve, build a bridge hides and makes the whole thing conversational. Once I list Jessica and Frank, and how many times did he close? I go, I don't even know what that means. It's all part of just a conversation we're having. Then I'm going to use some humor if that doesn't work. Okay, can I tell Jessica, Frank, can I tell you guys something funny? Yeah, I think before I come over, when I'm meeting people for the first time, I think they rightly decide, I'll just see this guy and not decide tonight. And you guys haven't talked privately, correct? Do you want me to drive around the block?
Sure.
Because I can do that. And they go, is what we decided. You guys decided earlier that you're just going to see me and not put on the market. But you haven't talked privately. They go, that is what's happening. They say that all the time. Well, do you want to talk about it? I can drive around the block. They go, you know what? They look at each other. Let's just go with this guy. Okay. I know, because in the first part of my career, I went and nailed tons of listing presentations that a week later they went with someone else. Because I know that when I leave, the luster of that presentation, it fades very fast, realtor. Very fast. You're like, man, I can't believe I didn't get that one. That's because too much time went by. You better get it when you're there. But you don't want to close, because you'll be out of line, yes? So close, repeat, approve, build a bridge, close. Repeat, approve, build a bridge, close. And when you get to the third one and you say that, listen, let me give you the best of both worlds. Let's do the paperwork. I will leave it with you. Don't think you can take it, because you cannot. That's exactly the same as listing to them. So let's do the paperwork. I'll leave it with you guys, okay? And I'll call you in the morning. And if you want me to come pick it up, I will. If not, are you going to tell me you already shredded it, okay? Or you already threw it out? That's fine with me. They're like, okay, let's do that then. Because they do want me, they just haven't talked privately. You guys understand that? I'm giving them a way out here. And I'm telling you, by the time they do all the paperwork, sign here, sign here, sign here, we're going to be leaving this, 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 and this. By the time you're finished with that, 10 minutes later, you say, okay, I can leave it with you, or you guys just want me to take it. Just take it. 49 times out of 50. Just take it. So, because once they do all that, you understand when you're presenting, even if they love you, you're at this campfire and they're at this campfire, even though they love you. As soon as they sign stuff, you're at the same campfire. Whether you came to their campfire, they came to your campfire, or you built a campfire in the middle. It doesn't matter. Semantics. You're at the same campfire. Once they sign with you, they want you, which they're doing, yes? So the repeat, approve, build a bridge allows you to go these extra closes, the ones you're currently avoiding now because you don't want to appear like the pushy realtor, yes or no? That's a good characteristic, by the way, but it's hurting your career. And the repeat, approve, build a bridge between the closes makes the whole thing conversational. You guys all clear? Any questions?
What if you're competing when you have 3 more realtors after?
Okay, so the question is, what if you're competing and you have 3 more realtors? That's going to be challenging. So when you book it, try to go last. All things being equal, they almost always choose the last realtor. All things being equal. So when I book it with Jessica and Frank, I'm going to say, have you guys set up any appointments yet? And they say, we've got them here and here, and you end here. I go, okay, I'm not available. Actually, so let's say our last one is Thursday night, right? Thursday night at what time? 4, okay. So Thursday late afternoon. Okay, I'm actually available after that, but I'm booked all these other times. Do you want to wrap it up Thursday?
Sure.
How about I see you at 5 o'clock on Thursday? So I position myself last. See, the other 2 they have here, I can't screw up, but I can screw the 3rd guy up. Because I would say, okay, so the realtor will be about half an hour. Okay, so you're going to see one at 4, yes? Okay, I'll see you at 5. Okay, and so then you can wrap it up. So I'm positioning myself last, and I'm going to screw this guy up. I'm going to take him out of the equation, or her. And I'll say this, okay, so the realtor will only be about 30 minutes. There's only 6 questions, right?
Right.
And so the realtor will appreciate it, and listen carefully, will appreciate it when they sit down. You're going to see me at 5. Then they'll know to stick to the points, yes? But the truth is, it will totally destroy them. Can you imagine they go in there at 5 o'clock, sit down, they go, just so you know, we're seeing someone at 6. What? They're done. That one's out of the equation, right? Then you show up at 5, and they go, that one we just saw, he was a disaster. That's weird. So I can take that guy. So if you're only seeing 2 people, do it that way, and then you win every time. Position yourself last. It's very difficult to get them to sign with you when they have other ones booked. So do your very best to position yourself last. Don't say, I want to go last. Just say, you know what? When's that last one? Saturday morning at 10, you said? Yes? Say yes. Turns out I'm available Saturday morning. So do you want to wrap it up Saturday morning? Okay, so why don't I swing by about 11, 11:30? Now, when I say that hour, that's really uncomfortable for a lot of realtors. So they move it to an hour and a half. It'll still screw up the other agent. But they shouldn't be there for an hour and a half, should they? No. They shouldn't be. So you say, okay, they're at 10, I'll come at 11:30. But when they sit down at 10, they'll appreciate if you tell them you're seeing me at 11:30. Then they'll stick to their gun. They'll stick to the points and not so much small talk, right? Which is kind of what you want anyways. But the truth is, when they sit down and they say, just so you know before you start, we're seeing someone at 11:30, that will screw them up. They'll have a hard time recovering for that. I do it 1 hour, but I find a lot of our clients that's a little too aggressive for them. So you go an hour and a half, has the same result anyways. So I position myself last. Not that I'm saying I want to go last, I'm not available here, but I am available there. That's very convenient. And all things being equal, they choose the last person, if they're all equal. But you're going to be better than the other people anyways. But the last person can win even if you were better, if you were second. So if you can position yourself last, you definitely want to do that. But if they say to you, well, we don't have any others booked yet, I say, well, let's just see me tonight then. We'll go from there. I'm trying to get in there and just try to get it without them seeing other people. Yes?
If we were competing against someone of your caliber, so there's other really big names in our town, do we still want to go last?
Okay, the question is, if you're going against, you know they're going to see like a big player,
Yeah.
do you want to go last? I would say yes, but there's a chance that they might get it. But you have to understand in human behavior, a lot of people really dislike that person. You see, in human behavior, 55% of the people on the planet want to go with the underdog. More than half the population. 55% of the people like the underdog. I'm in that group. There's lots of human behavior categories. So a little more than half the population, if you go in there and they like you, they're choosing you over that person. That's more than half the population. So don't think just because it's a big realtor there, everyone's going to choose them. 55% of the, if I'm not a realtor and I'm interviewing a big name and I see a young person just got started, I like them, I'm going with this person. I want to be part of getting their career going. More than half the room is with me, yes? So then it wouldn't matter that if you go in there and they really like you, then they're going to choose you. Questions? Okay, so guys and gals, before we wrap it up here, so you definitely need to go and print off this lead list for January, yes? Or if you don't want to email Josh and tell him you don't know your code, just take a blank piece of paper, write my leads for January and start putting them on there. It doesn't have to be the chart in your tracking system, but you have to get this posted. You guys understand that? You have to recognize the importance of finishing strong and starting strong. When I see you guys in December, which will be very close to the end of coming up the week of the 16th, I think, we're going to talk about pricing. And I'm going to show you at a listing presentation how to get things priced right if they want to try it high and which ones to walk away from. Now, right now, from here back, it doesn't matter that much because pricing right now is a bit like a hand grenade. You don't got to be right on, you just got to be close, yes? You go on a listing presentation, they say it should be $7.99. They say, want to try $8.50. You're like, okay, whatever. It's fine. I mean, if we put it on $7.99, we're probably getting $8.50 anyways. But there's a time coming, not too far, that price is going to matter again. In my 30 years as being a realtor, we've had this 2 years of crazy seller's market, yes? Yes? And then 1989, 88, 89, which is hotter than now, by the way. Those are the two times. So 4 years of my 30, it's been crazy seller's market. Your 26 has been normal. The majority of your career will be normal, not like this. This is just the anomaly. Matter of fact, in my career, I won't see this again. Because it was 1988, 89. That's like almost 30 years ago. It'll happen again, but not for a long time. Some of you won't see it. This is infrequent what's happening now. There's a point coming where price will matter again, yes? And I'm going to show you what is the right dialogue to get it priced right. And if they don't price it right, how will that same dialogue be almost 100% 2 weeks later? So the truth is, for my whole career, every listing I go on, if they want to try it high and they're motivated, I use the technique, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, they price it right 2 weeks later. So what do I care? Think about that. So it's not like when I use this technique I'm going to teach you, I'm desperately hoping it'll work. What do I care? Like in your whole career, does it really matter if they price it right today or price it right 2 weeks later? Does that matter? No. Doesn't matter. So it takes you off the hook, and it gets you past the mistake that most realtors make, which is pushing too hard for the right price. When you're at a listing presentation and they want to try it a bit high, there's very limited dialogue you can have. There's like a line. If you go over it, once you go over the line, you might as well keep going, because once you leave, you're not getting back in again. And that line is not too far. So I'm going to show you the dialogue that takes you right to the line. And you cannot say anything after that. And it's a lot less than you think. Most realtors push too hard for the right price, and you push yourself out of the equation. As soon as you leave, they think, he's not getting back in, she's not getting back in. We're not going with him or her. Too aggressive on the price. I'll show you the exact words to say at the table. If it works, great. If it doesn't, the exact words 2 weeks later, and they'll price it right 2 weeks later, almost 100%. That's next month's class, yes?
I have one more objection. Let's say you are Rob from Century 21.
I am Rob from Century 21.
Yeah, like I mean.
Let's not pretend.
Yeah. Rob, why should I choose you? Because the same person from your company offering me 1% commission, and it will do identical what you do.
Okay, I got it. So again, if this came up on the phone, and they said, okay, hold on. It came up on the phone, and you said, I'll make sure I'll discuss it when I see you, and they said, okay, that means they're in the 70%, yes? Okay, and so you go there, and you're going against someone else in your company that's charging 1%. That'd be a very sad situation, if that's the case. However, you're sitting with someone who buys goods and services based on value, yes? So if your presentation is weaker than the other person, they see value in the other person. People buy goods and services based on value. They don't run to spend money. They buy goods and services based on value. So then you just have to show them the value, yes? If they look at you and they watch you present, and they watch this other person present who's leaning on I don't have to be good because I'm giving 1%, right? And you go in and do an amazing presentation, they go, okay, they go your way. But you better make sure you have a presentation that shows value, yeah? So you have to be better. And if you're better, they will pay you. People that buy goods and services based on value will pay. But not if they don't see the value. They don't run to spend their money. They buy based on value. So a lot of realtors that don't charge anything feel that I don't have to have a good presentation. I rely on that. They choose it because it's cheap. So they don't do too much. And then you go in and you do an amazing presentation, answer all 6 questions, all perfect, right? And they see the value. But what if the other guy's presentation is better than yours? And they're like, well, I'm not cheap, but I see more value with this guy. So you have to have a 5% listing presentation that they see value in, and they will pay you. I can't say I've been in that situation before where someone from the company I was working at was my competition and they were charging 1. I can't say I've ever had that before, but I'm going against someone who's charging 1. That's every time. So we could beat that all day long. Yeah, if you show value. It's about the value. They buy goods and services based on value.
I think what you really want is what would be the repeat approve and
Well, it would be, okay, so you're saying that another person from my company is charging 1%, is that correct? That's not complicated, and the approval is not complicated, because it's nothing to do with the person from your company, 1%. It's back to the motive, yes? So in the approval, you wouldn't mention the person from your company because you're approving the motive. I understand when you're moving from house A to house B, you're trying to save as much money as you can. Now all of a sudden, oh, this is a person I can communicate with. You're starting to show value. That doesn't change. In the approval, you don't mention whatever the objection is anyways. You approve their motive. Understand when you bring this up, you're trying to save as much money as you can. I get that. So that's fair to me. I'm not moving, but if I was, I'd want to save money too. Can I share something with you? And then you're into your objection handler. And you're answering the questions correctly. It wouldn't change the approval. It doesn't matter what the objection is. The approval is the motive. That wouldn't come up in the approval anyways. I hope that's not the case what you guys are discussing, because that would be bad. We all good?
Good.
Yes? Actually, if I were you, it's surprising how good some of the ones you can just get at a college that is free or next to free. Just Google some colleges and some evening college university. They run courses all the time and stuff like that. It costs nothing and they're actually very good. Yeah.